Ever think about how different our playlists might sound in a couple of years? Like, what if the next big hit wasn't written by, a person, but by some kind of algorithm?
Wild, right.
That's exactly what we're going to dig into today with this report, Guiding the Integration of GenAI into the Music Industry.
It's definitely a fascinating one, and we're way past the AI elevator music here. This is about whether AI can actually write songs that people really love.
So are we saying goodbye to struggling artists pouring their hearts out and hello to robots churning out catchy tunes?
Not quite.
Sounds a little sci-fi, to be honest.
This report is really clear that it's not about replacing human artists at all. It's about giving them totally new tools and finding fresh creative avenues. Think of AI as like a super advanced instrument, not the whole band.
Okay, so instead of handing a musician a melody, I could give an AI a prompt like, write me a song about a cat wearing a tiny hat who's also a space explorer.
Well, maybe not with all that detail, but yeah, you're getting the idea.
I could just do it.
You'd give the AI a creative brief, kind of like you would to a songwriter, like the mood, the style, maybe some themes for the lyrics. What I find interesting is that this report actually maps out the whole life cycle of an AI-generated song, from those first prompts to potentially hitting the charts. Multiple monetization pathways, they call it.
Multiple monetization pathways. Okay, now I'm really curious. What does that even mean?
Basically, it means AI music could change how we even make money from music. Imagine personalized soundtracks that change with your mood, or video game music that evolves as you play.
Okay, that does sound pretty groundbreaking, I have to admit. But then where does that leave human artists if AI can do all that? Are they going to be out of work?
That's what everyone wants to know, right? And actually, this report really emphasizes that human artists are still essential, even with all this new tech. It's not about replacing anybody. It's about artists and AI working together. Artistic touch and distribution, they call it.
Artistic touch and distribution. So like AI makes the clay, but you need a human to like sculpt it into something really beautiful.
Exactly. Think about it this way. AI can look at tons of data and create melodies and harmonies, even lyrics. But a lot of times it takes a human ear, a human experience to take those raw ingredients and make them into something really special.
Makes sense. I mean, AI could probably write a super catchy pop song.
Yeah.
But can it capture the feeling of a singer-songwriter pouring their heart out after a bad breakup?
Exactly. And don't forget about performing. AI can make the music, but it can't replace the energy of a live show the way a musician connects with their audience. Some things just can't be faked by an algorithm.
That's true. So, okay, AI is creating music, but what about the money side of all this? Like if AI writes a hit song, who actually owns it?
Now, that's where it gets really interesting, and it's something this report digs into deep. They say we need really clear rules and regulations. Regulating the harvest is what they call it. We have to figure out who owns the copyright, how the money gets split, and how to make sure everyone involved is treated fairly.
So we need like rules of the road for AI music. Because right now, it kind of sounds like the Wild West out there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why this report is such a big deal. It's basically a call to action for the government, industry leaders, and musicians to get together and make some ground rules before things get too out of control. We want to make sure AI helps artists be more creative and makes a whole music world more interesting, not that it ends up hurting them or taking advantage of anybody.
So who does the report say needs to take charge here? Is it up to the music industry to figure this out, or are we talking government regulations and stuff?
That is the million-dollar question. And the report says it's going to take everyone working together to make this work, right? You've got musicians and the people who represent them. They know how important the creative process is and what they bring to the table. And you've got the tech companies making the AI they need to think about the ethics of what they're building. Then, of course, there's the government. They need to set up laws that are fair to everybody.
So it's like a three-legged stool. If you take away one leg, the whole thing collapses. Where do we go from here, then? What are your thoughts on this after reading this report? It's like we're standing at the edge of something totally new, and we don't even have a map. I mean, on the one hand, there's so much potential for creativity and doing things we haven't even imagined yet.
Yeah.
But then you've got all these ethical questions and logistical things that need to be worked out. It's a lot.
It is. It's a real balancing act. And this report doesn't pretend to have all the answers or anything, but it does a good job, I think, of asking the right questions. It really makes you think about what we want the future of music to be like and how we can use this technology the right way to get there.
I have to admit, reading through all this, I can't help but think of those sci-fi movies where the AI takes over everything.
Right.
Are we going to end up with algorithms telling us what music we like?
I think we're a long way off from that. But you're right. It's a good reminder that we have to be aware of what could happen with this technology. It's really up to us to figure out how AI is used in music. Having these conversations, setting boundaries, and making sure human creativity is still at the center of it all. That's what matters.
This report really made me look at the future of music differently. Imagine if you could take all the music you've ever listened to and feed it into an AI,
Yeah.
and then it would create like a personalized concert experience just for you.
It's crazy when you think about it.
That would be wild.
But then it also makes you wonder about the value of a real human connection, you know? And what about the experience of listening to music with other people? Will AI get so good at knowing what we like that it can predict everything?
I guess that's the big question, isn't it? As amazing as all this technology is, I still hope that human artists are the ones making the music. Yeah. What do you think?
I think in the end, music is all about connecting with other people. Whether a song is written by a person, by an AI, or by both working together, it's the emotions, the stories, the community that really matters. And this technology could actually make those connections even stronger. It's up to all of us to make sure that's what happens.
I love that. This report doesn't have all the answers, but it makes you think about the right things. It reminds us that music is about human connection, whether it's a person or an algorithm or some crazy combination of both. It's all about the feelings, the stories we tell each other, and the community that brings us together.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's going to
Yeah.
be an interesting journey, that's for sure.
It really is. And who knows, maybe our next favorite song will be written by an AI with a little help from its human friends. Thanks for diving into this with us today.